All right, class. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about digital citizenship and what that is and what it means for you and why it should be important to you. So the reasons that we are doing this certification is to develop responsible habits in the digital world. We want to develop proper etiquette in the digital world. So etiquette means like the proper way of doing things or like manners, okay? It'll give you a certification to put on your job applications and resumes going forward. And second semester, that's going to be one of the things that we work on right when we come back from Christmas break. And then it's also required to graduate from the academies of Grand Island Senior High School. So it's part of our graduate profile. So we're going to talk a little bit about what this is and some examples. And then I'm going to show you how to get signed up. So the first thing I want you to do while I get ready to talk about what this is and give you some examples is open up your Chromebooks if you haven't already. The website runs kind of slow. And so I'm going to have you start getting the sign up process going. That way, by the time we need to finish the sign up process, hopefully it's ready to go. So go to Canvas and Module 9 for me, please. Okay, Canvas and Module 9. So I'll show you here. Okay, and when I go to Module 9, you're going to click on Legacy Digital Citizenship Certification website link. You open that up. Okay. There's just a couple of things we need to do to get started on it. So you're going to click sign in with Google. You're going to click, yes, it's my name. You might have to click like continue or confirm. Okay. On yours, you're going to select I'm a student. And then you'll hit continue or confirm. And then one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to take you to a screen that looks similar to this, except for it'll have two red boxes at the top and a couple of logos. If that's the case, you're good for now. Just leave it where it is. It might also take you to just a screen that looks like it's a picture of a classroom that's blurry, okay? If that's the case, yours is just loading slowly. That's happened with every class. Don't worry about it. By the time I'm done talking about this unit and we go into the sign up process, it should be ready to go, okay? So sign in with Google, select I'm a student, continue, and then let it load, okay? All right, so my question for you is are you responsible for your digital actions just like you would be in person? And the answer is yes. If you do something in person that you should not do, we know morally that's not something you should do. That's not being a good person. That's not treating people with respect. All of those things, right? But if it's you and another person and you say something you shouldn't say, there's no proof that you did it, whether it was right or wrong. If you do those things online, whether it's in Snapchat or social media, email, whatever it is, there's always a trail. There's always a record of what you did. Even if you delete it, and you think the other person deleted it, it still truly never goes away. If it were to be something serious where somebody needed to find it, it's still there, whether that's digitally on the internet or on your hard drive on your computer or your phone, it's still there, okay? So there's always proof on the things that you do digitally on your phones and any device like that. And so we have to be really aware of the decisions we're making, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of different examples of some things that would apply to this. The first one in the upper left-hand corner here, His name is General Petraeus. General Petraeus served a couple of different tours in Iraq before becoming the director of the CIA. Okay. He was forced to resign from his position as the director of the CIA because he got caught, excuse me, having an affair with this lady who is also in the military with him. The reason I tell you this is the way that they got caught having an affair that forced him to resign from his position was that they were sharing an email account on their work computers, and one of them would write an email but not send it and leave it in the drafts folder in the email. Then the other person would get onto that email account, read the email, delete it, type their response in the drafts folder without ever sending it. And they kept going back and forth on this, thinking that they would not get caught as long as they did not send the email. They still got caught, and he was forced to resign from really probably one of the most powerful positions in our government as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. So the point of that one is that he's a pretty smart guy. He's very good with technology. And if somebody like that could not get around the system and not getting caught, it's very unlikely that you can. Okay. No matter what you do, there's going to be a record of it, and somebody can find it if they need to find it. In the bottom left-hand corner, that gentleman's name is Ahmaud Arbery, and I believe in Georgia in 2020, he was found, or he was jogging early in his neighborhood, early in the morning. It was still dark out, not doing anything wrong. The three gentlemen that are pictured next to him believed that there was a break-in in a house near their neighborhood. And so they took it upon themselves to try to detain Mr. Arbery because they believed he was the one that broke into the house. He did not. One of the gentlemen had a gun with them, and when they tried to detain him, he did not want to because he knew he didn't do anything wrong, and he tried to get away. And the gentleman with the gun shot and killed him. He was tried for murder and a hate crime in which he was found guilty, and he'll spend the rest of his life in prison, as he should. But the other two gentlemen that are pictured there, the important part of this for you guys is that they were in a separate vehicle. They did not have a weapon. They never made physical contact with Ahmaud Arbery, but they chose to film it. They had their phone out and they filmed the whole interaction. They were both sentenced to 60 years in prison. Okay. And they're both middle-aged men. They're going to die in prison as well. So, they had the option to either intervene and save the young man's life and do the right thing. They had the option to just not be part of the situation. But they didn't choose either of those options. They wanted to be part of it. Okay. So when you guys think about when we have fights in our schools or something's going on, and the first reaction of every kid is to pull their phone out and record it, what happens when one of those kids takes a pretty good punch and they fall and hit their head and something serious happens? And now you have a recording of that on your phone. Even if you think you deleted it, it's still there. And we have cameras to see who was recording. That's going to be a problem for you, okay? At the bare minimum, you're going to get in trouble from our school, okay? But there's certainly precedent that legally you could be held responsible because, one, you didn't separate yourself from that situation. You chose to be part of it by filming it. And two, you didn't intervene. You didn't try to help the person. You didn't try to go get an adult. Okay. So you need to be very careful about what you're recording. That is not what you should be doing. The bottom right corner is the Patriot Act. It was enacted by our Congress in 2001 when we got attacked on 9/11. It's no longer called the Patriot Act. It's called the USA Freedom Act. But the important thing for you to know about this, is our government with that act of Congress is able to basically look at any American's digital records anytime they want. Okay, so that's your phone, that's your email, that's your computer, anything you've ever done digitally. They are able to go look at that if they suspect in any way that you could be a threat to the country or involved with terrorism. And you won't know that they're looking at it, okay? For most Americans, that's not a, some people don't agree with it, but for most Americans, that probably doesn't really matter because most Americans are pretty boring to the government, and that's a good thing. But just know you don't have any right to privacy when it comes to living in the United States. And you're welcome to do what you want with your technology, but it doesn't mean you have a right to privacy with it, okay? Then the last two things here before we finish our sign up process, Snapchat. So anything that you send on Snapchat, whether it's inappropriate picture or video or a text message on there, just because the receiver of that doesn't screenshot it or replay it, doesn't mean that it's gone forever. Okay, the servers for Snapchat's company have to save that for a certain amount of time, and servers and databases get hacked all the time. Okay, you see all the time. There's celebrities from like iCloud and things like that have inappropriate pictures of themselves and whatnot that are leaked out because those databases and servers get hacked. Okay, and then lastly, the anti-troll laws at the top there. I know that I've heard freshmen say this and middle school kids say this, and that I've seen different stories on it where for some reason kids think that it's funny to tell another kid to kill themselves. Okay, and you guys know it happens probably more than it should, whether it's a joke, whether they're being serious, whatever it is, it happens. There are laws in place that if you were to say that to somebody and that they actually do commit the act of suicide, that you're going to be held legally, partially legally responsible for their death, because you once again, you played a part in that act. Okay, that you didn't separate yourself from it. You didn't try to intervene if it was you and other people, but you were part of the reason that happened. So the whole point of this is you guys have to make sure that you're making great decisions with your technology, and that you're not doing something that's going to create a hindrance to your future later on down the road. Okay, if there's something that you're going to do, I want you to think about, in 10 years from now, well, I think that's funny. In 10 years from now, if that could potentially hurt my chances of getting into my dream college or getting my dream career, or maybe my potential wife or husband sees that, is that something that I want them to see? And if the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't do it. Okay. All right. So now going back to the sign up process, you should hopefully have a page now that has two red logos up here with a couple of logos down here. So what I need you to do is I'm going to go through the sign up process with you here. And there is a document. If you don't get this done right now, there is a document in here called the instruction document that'll help you out. But what I need you to do, in the upper right hand corner here, there should be a box that says grad year. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and click that, and you're going to select 2027. Okay, so click the red box that says grad year and select 2027. Once you do that, that box should turn green, and then in the middle, there should be a red box that says connect to a school district. So I want you to go ahead and click the red box that says connect to a school district. And you're going to type Grand, G-R-A-N-D. And then you're going to select Grand Island Public School District. Once you do that and you get back to this page, you'll now have two boxes that are green And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll have a blue box that says Update School. Go ahead and click that blue button. Type Grand, G-R-A-N-D, and you're going to select Grand Island Senior High School. After you do those things, it should have 3 green boxes on the top. And it should take you to a screen that looks like this. You are going to click Legacy Digital Citizenship. When you do that, before you get to this screen, it should pop up with a search box asking you to select a reviewer. And you are going to type my last name in there. You're going to type L-Y-N-N and select Michael Lynn as your reviewer. That way, when you are done with this, I can get you credit for it and give you your assessment points on this because it is worth 10 assessment points. Okay. So once you get to this screen, then you are good to go with the sign up process. Then the next slide will tell you what you need to be doing as far as how to work through module 4 here. Okay. Thanks, guys.